everyone, this is Rachel and welcome to another scrapbooking process video. If you hang out until after the video is through, there are always detailed shots of my current layout. Let's get going! Hey everyone, so welcome to another episode of Lift and Sketch with Christy and Rachel, my series with Christy Harriman. Today, Christy and I are going to be lifting the lovely Ashley Horton with a layout she made for the Hip Kit Club. I thought it was super different and hearkening back to the 90s and early 2000s with cutting photos into shapes. I thought it was kind of fun that that's kind of come back around again and people are doing that. Not in every single layout, but I have seen it occasionally. So what I'm going to be doing today is I do have one photo to scrapbook. It happens to be the only photo I have of what I'm talking about. Xanthi is trying to make her way up here to join us so she can supervise. So what I'm going to do is get you guys put on fast forward and I will get her up. You want to come up and over? She's decided she doesn't like to go to her box from the back way of the table anymore. She has to come up on the front end of the table. Super awesome. All right, so I managed to get her in there pretty quick. So I have lately been working with a lot of page kits that I put together. This is not a page kit. It's kind of just a random kit of Felicity Jane I had thrown in a bag together that I thought went well together, and I did it without any photos in mind. I just kind of had it sitting there in my stash, and I've recently kind of done a reorganization and I found it and I went, oh, I should probably use this. So in looking at this layout and trying to lift it, I'm like, you know what? This needs a lot of layers, a lot of different patterns, but ones that meld well together. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and use that for this. So I went and grabbed a photo that I thought went both well with the papers, and also, you know, it's a one photo, so I can do a one photo layout so it works for the lift. All right, before I put you guys on fast forward, I just want to say, make sure you head on over to Christy's channel and check out her take on lifting this layout. A link to her channel will be in the description box below. Also, if you could flick me a thumbs up, that would be super awesome. I always appreciate that. It just goes a long way to having my channel be out there, and so I can share my love of scrapbooking. All right, folks, let's get going. All right, so we are going to go ahead and get started. And so I'm using the Creative Memories circle cutter, and I'm just showing you the difference in each of those little hexagon-y cutter thingies is a different width away, so that way you could mat different items. So I'm just looking to see, I know I'm going to cut my picture into a circle, and I also know I want to mat my picture. So I'm just kind of looking at what I have. So I know I'm not going to use, I had pre-cut a cut file of stars into that dark teal paper, so I knew I wasn't going to use that for this layout because obviously I'm going to be following what's going on in Ashley's layout. So I'm just trying to pick the correct size so that I can get the majority of their heads, but not accidentally cut off the photo, so I get a full circle rather than chancing having it go off, so have a flattened edge. I decide to go with the red, and that's the one that's the closest to the cutting area, I guess you would say. And for those of you who've never seen this before, basically there are two plastic posts on the little hexagon thingy that go into a groove on the clearish translucent blue thing. And so what you do is you slot those posts into the groove and then push it in around in a circle, and it cuts out the shape. The Creative Memories also has this in ovals and triangles and squares, like rounded squares, I think. I don't know. I know they have reissued some of their tools, but I think you can get like a lot of their older stuff on eBay. So I'm going to go ahead and use a piece of white cardstock for my background. In the original layout, there's a bunch of mixed media, so I'm going to do that as well. I'm going to follow this very much along lines of the original. I'm just going to be using a completely different color palette, so you are not, it looks a lot alike if it was bleached out. So I'm going to stick mainly with this coral white and a little bit of black. Sorry, someone came home. As I was saying, I'm going to stick with this coral and white and black color scheme. So it's very monochromatic, but it just made sense to me. What I'm not liking right now is the fact that that triangle-y paper goes up on each end. So I'm just going to re-rip it a little bit, but it's fine because I really want it to sit, the photo paper part, I really want that to sit in the lower third of the layout rather than the middle. Not really like all the way at the bottom, but lower down than um, the center of the page. I decide I need something in between the floral piece and the triangle piece and these very botanical black and white leaves are what I'm going to choose. I'm now just lining these up so you get just peaks of that black and white. It's not, full, there isn't like a full setting of that. You just get a hint of it. I did also add this branding strip to the top, and I just liked the way that looked. I also liked the way it brought the black and white up into the top portion, and then of course I had an issue with my ATG, so I went ahead and fixed that. And I really love the way the top of this portion of the layout turned out. I mean, I like the way the rest of the layout turned out as well, but I'm not one necessarily who does that a lot, where you have the, whether it be at the top or over on the side, but for some reason that it just really stuck with me. And once again, as you can see, I am tearing papers. It's been my thing lately, which is funny because I was never super into that in general, but for some reason it's what I want to do right now. So I have two colors. Once again, I'm sticking with the monochromatic. I have Mango Tango. Oh my God, I wanted to say Sweetheart because Sweetheart, which is a really lovely rosy pink color, has been my go-to lately, but this is actually Mango Tango and then Granny Gray. So while those are drying a bit, I'm going through what I had pulled to go with this Felicity Jane kit, and as I said, I'm basically going to try to stick with the black, the white, and the coral. There's a little bit of green in the layout, just the tiniest little bit, because over on the right-hand side, if you see those roses with the green leaves, I am going to use several of those, but those are washi stickers. So even though, yes, it is green, it's not very strong. So you'll see I'm having most of the green be off the page because this is going to be the top of the page. I just turned it upside down so I could do that not correctly. I could fold it over and not see a ton of the green. I then have one of the die cuts, the black and white heart. I'm also going to add that. Right now, I'm not sure if I like it there or not, so I'm auditioning it there, but it is going to end up somewhere around there. I'm thinking about adding another branding strip, this black and white one. Oh my gosh, I can't think of what that word is, like banner. Oh my goodness. And I decide I do like that. And then I have these, back when Felicity Jane first started, before she had die cuts, she had these stickers that were printed on a rectangular piece and you would cut them out and then peel the sticker backing off of them. and that's where those little, what looks like little washi or branding strips, those are actually stickers. And I've got that coral one, and then I have the small floral print, and then I have another one that's black with white polka dots, but I'm not going to end up using it. It's just a little bit too much black. I do pull out again from that washi sticker a little black and white stripe flag piece, and then one of those pink and white die cuts. It's supposed to be used as a label, but I'm just using it as a piece of a grouping. So because I wanted to use that coral sticker strip that I'm putting down right now, you'll see I put down a black and white washi before that, and it was more just to differentiate the eye from the coral piece of paper to the coral sticker than anything. You really can't see it, and I'm covering quite a bit of it up, but it just delineates that they are two different coral items so it doesn't bleed into the background paper. So now I'm working on the decorating behind the photo, and I'm going to do something similar to what was done in the original layout where I'm adding elements behind the photo, and that's really where I stuck with doing that. In the original photo, in the original layout, obviously she's using brighter colored items, and it's definitely more texture than I use in my layout, but because I was going for a softer look, I did go for a less textured look as well. So I add another of the washi roses, I add that washi heart, and now I'm thinking about what I want for my title. And I knew I was going to use the words solo trip. So for the word trip, I choose these holographic thickers. These came out with a pink paisley line. Oh, sugar, what was it called? It was a summer line, and it had all sorts of holographic elements in it. And then for the word solo, I'm going to choose these older freckled fawn black and white flat stickers. And what's really funny is I have recently redone my area, and these I found when I was moving things. I'm like, oh my gosh, I really like these. I should use them. So I made sure to put them on top of all of my alphas. And I'm like, I am going to go ahead and use them. And so, of course, I accidentally placed them too far to the right. So I am going to fix that, adding some embellishments over on the left-hand side. So now I'm moving on to my puffy elements. These are going to be kind of like the last elements I add. They are puffy stickers from the Willow collection, and then also some black and white. I think I end up using the gray ones, but these are from one of her element releases where it's just like basic shapes in black and white and shades of gray. I think about using those other ones, but I think I'm good with what's going on, so I'm just going to grab a little label sticker, and I'm going to use that for my journaling. And I'm just talking about how this was my nephew's first solo trip down to Long Island by himself to visit his grandmother. So that is going to finish off my layout. Thank you guys so much for joining me here. If you could flick me a thumbs up, don't forget to check out Christy's take on this, and thanks for watching. Bye everyone.